Yeah, let's jump into it. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit to go through because I've kind of mapped out some changes that I think you'd want to make to the website specifically,
Okay.
but then also there's some content that I think you're going to want to get created. As I said, I'll share this deck with you as well.
All right.
First things first, site looks good. It is coming up as a C page speed score on GT metrics, but it loads pretty quick. So that side of things is good.
Okay.
Pixels looking good, catalog's all connected. So you're tracking all of that as well. The Shopify analytics, as I went back through all the timeframes, it seems that August to October was probably the strongest in terms of sales. Wasn't a lot of sales to go through, but conversion rate is definitely on the lower side. Ideally, you want to see this in that 2 to 3% range. Right now, it's 0.6%. Average order value is good though, which is a positive sign because you don't really have anything there that's pushing bundles or pushing people to spend more. So the fact that they're buying at least 2 different products in general is good.
All right.
Your add to cart rate is definitely on the low side though. You definitely want to see this up around the 5 to 10% range. But on the good side of things, people that do add to cart tend to go through with checkout at a high rate, which is also good. You've also got a high return rate, which is awesome. So I don't know what you're doing there with like remarketing or emailing people that have already bought from you.
What is the return rate? What is that based on?
It's based on people that have purchased that come back again. Now,
what did you say? Can you go back for a sec?
Yeah.
You said the conversion rate is low, 0.61. What's the ideal?
Between 2 and 3.
Okay.
So it's like 30% of kind of what it should be. In terms of goals though, this is really what you want to see from your ads and like the flow through the site. So starting on the right-hand side, like aiming for around a $25 CPA, because you can afford to spend that if people are spending $65. You can afford to spend $20 to $25 to acquire them, especially if they're coming back at a rate of 40%, because especially if those people are coming back within a month, you're actually getting,
Where did you get that number from, the $25?
Just based on your average order value. So if people are coming and spending $60 to $65, then you can afford to spend this to acquire them. Ideally lower, but I'm just sort of giving conservative estimates here.
What does that mean, CPA?
CPA is cost per acquisition. So for one person to buy something through your Facebook ads, it kind of works out to being you spend $25 worth of ads.
Right.
Basically, what I like to do is kind of map out KPIs for each level of the funnel to kind of set benchmarks for what you can afford to spend. With Facebook ads, you really would be looking at around about 50-cent cost per clicks. And as long as you're getting 5% of that traffic flowing through to the cart, you're going to be able to hit these numbers. This would kind of net out at a net conversion rate of 2%. So you can really start to see where do we need to tighten up on the funnel to make sure that we're getting the numbers that we need to. Looking at these metrics, people that are abandoning cart, you're actually getting more than 35%. So this part here should be quite easy to get. It's this part here that you're down on. So right now it's 1.46%. You really need to get that to 5% to get this all to work. And so a few suggestions for that. I'll actually move this slide further up. So I don't know if you're familiar with this brand called PROPERWILD. I don't know if you've seen them before. Actually, cool. So they do like these energy shot juice, like juice-based energy shots. So it's not identical to the niche you're in, but it's very similar. The thing that you'll notice on their homepage as you scroll down, it's very visual. It doesn't require people to read a lot. And the reason that they do that is the best way to think about like your website, even though like as soon as someone lands on the page, you're basically asking them for a small investment, not necessarily money, but time and energy. So you've got to reward people a little bit because it is a transaction that's happening. It's just not necessarily a financial transaction, but you're asking them to spend a little bit more time to learn about your brand.
Right.
And if they see a whole slab of text or it's confusing or it's unclear as to what like the site's about, it turns that transaction into like way more of an investment on their behalf. And so people will tend to be like, this isn't worth my time. I'm going to bounce. Sure. So what's really good about PROPERWILD is that you can see above the fold here, like on the desktop site, at least, as soon as you land on the page, the first thing you see is like powerful plant-based energy shots that care about your health. It's really short text. It doesn't require a lot of energy. You can see the fruit, like the fruit photos and the little pack shots. So within the first second, you already know what this site is about, what they're selling, and like why it might be of interest to keep scrolling down. So that's the first thing I like about it. As you scroll down, you get that nice, like luscious fruit picture. And then you've got these little icons that basically convey a lot of information in a really short, easy to digest little punchy bullet point, basically. So long lasting energy, clean ingredients, brain fuel, and reduced jitters. So you already know it's an energy drink. It's like made with fruit juice. So it's simplifying all the copy. And then as you get down further, it starts going into more of like the logical benefits. So it's, more caffeine than coffee. It's got this particular vitamin in it. It's natural juice. Then you've got a bunch more icons that show that it's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's GMO, it's dairy-free. Then you've got the supplement information, and then like starts comparing prices against like coffee and energy drinks and everything. And then it's got that little sort of social proof element backed by dietitians. Because this is all about just essentially getting 3 seconds more of their time, and then it rewards them with a little bit more information to say, oh, okay, it's energy drink. Like, this is interesting. Maybe I'll scroll a little bit more. And then it rewards them again with some more information. The difference between this and like where your site is in your sales pages is that you've got a lot of copy there that requires people to read it. So you might be turning a lot of people off just simply because they see the copy and the words, and then they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to read this. I'm going to bounce. So setting up more visual pages is definitely going to be a key to success here, and appealing more to people's emotions rather than like logical benefits of like, it's 3 liters of juice and you get 3 in the bundle. That's all very logical. Like, what are the emotional benefits that you're offering people? So it might be, health without all the sugar, or all the natural like vitamins of an entire box of fruit in 1 cup, or something like that. Like things that are like more emotionally driven. You also want to move away from like the commodity based sell and move to more of that kind of lifestyle based sell. And also thinking about who
can I stop you for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Here's so that things make sense from here.
Yeah.
The Google will attract more people if there's more words on that main page.
Not necessarily more words. It's like more relevant words, like the keywords for sure.
Right.
But it's not necessarily a volume of words.
No, I agree with you. Not necessarily a volume of words, but they suggest all this. That paragraph was calculated. Nothing there even makes sense. Actually, it's just a bunch of keywords.
Yeah.
But that's what they suggest. The more keywords on the main page, the more likely. So, is it going to be like a balance where I need to yes,
essentially,
no,
like,
but don't
you still want to make sure that obviously it ranks, and then you can also use like your metadata and your like headings and things to make sure that you're ranking in the right places. But at the same time, there's no point in driving a ton of traffic to the page if people are so overwhelmed by all the words that they're like, oh, I can't even be bothered reading this, and they bounce. So where you can,
if you look at the site, I mean, the number of words versus the one you're showing me, it's like 4 lines. It just comes down to that strawberry mango smoothie. Everything else, there's nothing else there except pictures. The only thing the other one has is like spread out differently on the information, which I can get into. That's totally like, I'll redesign the front page. Yeah. But when it comes down to words, I mean, we have 4 lines here.
Are you talking about the sales pages or the homepage? Yeah, like I mean, like here, like if you're driving traffic into these pages, like it is kind of like a slab of text. Like I would say, like, break this up where you can to, like, if you, let's say the main, and we'll get into the avatars in a second, but let's say the main people that are buying these are using it for desserts and smoothies. Then perhaps instead of having best for homemade margaritas, desserts, and smoothies, you'd have like 3 little icons that show margaritas, desserts, and smoothies, because then it's less overwhelming for people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's more just about making it.
I like that a lot. Actually, I myself feel more comfortable reading things. Well, even this one is a little cluttered. PROPERWILD. It's kind of cluttered for me. It's like too much info at once, too many little thingies. Already for me, that's too much. I need it even more simple than this, which I have no problem doing. And Yeah, I mean, and then I like the little things at the end. Maybe more spaced out info would be.
Yeah, just so that it's not so overwhelming when people hit the page, and it is just about getting that next 3 seconds of their attention. So kind of leading them through that purchase journey,
Right,
as
right,
opposed
right,
to them
right,
like
right.
landing on this and then going, oh man, there's so many words. Like, what is this? Is it a drink? Is it like a jam? Like, just so it's like super clear. Within the first 3 seconds, someone should know exactly what that product is about and why they need it. And if they can't do that, you definitely want to massage that to make sure that it like displays that neatly.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing as well that I would
Okay.
suggest is like just
All
clarifying
right.
like shipping and payment info, for example. So like if I'm on this page, I don't know what payment providers that you use. Can I pay with my American Express? Can I use PayPal? That information not being on here also tends to, like when you add it, tends to increase conversion rates. So that's another thing that I would recommend. And then also making sure it's super clear, like what are the shipping costs? Where do you ship to? Again, like people aren't going to see that on here and they're not going to know.
Got it. Shop now.
To see if,
Okay, shop now.
Yeah, if you go shop now, you see how they've got like free shipping on all orders. They've got money back guarantee. I mean, this is a little bit different because like they do like a subscription type of thing and give you the price in shots. They don't have their
I like
payment.
that. Yeah, I like the free shipping. That's a good piece of information.
See how it's like right there
guys,
on the graphic as well. So
they could probably make it
know.
bigger, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But they've got it in 3 places too. Like they've got it in the header as well. So free shipping on all orders. They've got it in the first graphic as like a little sticker, and then they've got it right below the add to cart button. So again, like people know that it's free shipping. Back here, you can see as you scroll down, they've got like what our customers are saying. You've got a similar thing but they've got like a lot more reviews. That's super important. But then they've also got like their Instagram feed here, so you can see. It's really about understanding who the types of people are that buy from you and showing those people on the pages, because people want to buy things that other people like them buy, if that makes sense.
Right.
So this is obviously aimed at like a younger millennial type audience. So they have those type of people on the page here. So that was going to be my next question. So who is, because I wasn't quite sure of judging by the sales pages, like do you tend to find that you're selling more to end consumers, or is it more B2B, like bars and like pastry chefs and juice bars? And
on that end, I rely on people to send photos, and I don't have that. Yeah. But what I can do is have Instagram on the buying page.
Yeah.
But even Instagram, there are own photos, so I don't know if that really would help.
It should, like if you've got like kind of user generated looking content, like that can definitely help, because people can then see like what are people doing with this product, and how does that, like, is that something that I would do? Because then it becomes more of like a reality of being able to buy that thing.
Right. Okay. I know what you mean. I mean, we have the pictures there, but what if we make them bigger? Would that help?
Yeah, it could. Like, you don't want it to look too salesy though. That's where the review stuff tends to work well, because it's not really trying too hard.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Cool. Now, the last little bit in terms of the store stuff, I don't know if you're familiar with this app called Zipify One-Click Upsell.
No, not at all.
Okay. So this is like, ideally, if we can get you to an average order value of $99, this will absolutely crush it. Where it's like right now at 65, it's good. But again, we're basing that on a very small data set. But basically how this app works is it replaces the back end of your Shopify store, so that when someone adds to cart, it actually takes them to, it looks identical, but it takes them to the Zipify cart. Works exactly the same way. They enter their information, they enter their credit card details, but instead of just sending them straight through to a thank you page that says, thanks for your order, it's going to be shipped tomorrow, it actually then takes them to a special upsell offer where it might be, let's say, for example, it could be get this on a weekly subscription for, $19.95, or it could be get an extra bottle for only $10, or whatever obviously makes sense, as that first offer. And the good thing about this is that it makes this offer after they've already put their payment information in. So you've already closed the sale, And before that person leaves, it gives them a limited offer that's only available for the next 15 minutes to get something more for, you know, a little bit more money, because that helps bump that average order value up. If they take that offer, then awesome, cool. We know that they're really warm. Let's try and offer them something else. So maybe that's going to be the, you know, another product that complements it. So maybe it's if they buy the blackberry puree, maybe we're going to offer them the pineapple juice. Or if they've bought 3 bottles, maybe we're going to now offer them a 6-pack. So again, offering them another sale. If they turn the offer down, no worries, no hard feelings. We then want to make them one last downsell offer, so a much cheaper offer that's easy to fulfill. And if they say no, it goes straight to the thank you page. If they say yes, it also goes to the thank you page. So it's like you kind of get an opportunity here to make 2 final offers, at least, potentially up to 3, before you actually let them leave. And this tends to work quite well. Like 10 to 15% of people will take at least one of these offers, which means it's a really quick, easy way to boost that average order value and increase the spend from people without really having to do anything too much other than install the app and set the products up. That's why I like this, because you've already closed the sale. So as soon as someone's made the purchase and they've put their credit card details in, they've hit buy, they've gone, like, you've already got their money. This is just offering them the chance to actually like get more value. So yeah, weirdly 15, like some people don't like these, but about 15% of the audience that generally converts on a site will also take one of these offers. So it is kind of like money being left on the table when you don't run these things, because if it doesn't work, you don't have anything to lose. If it does work, you've gained, you know, $25 on that sale. So yeah, definitely something to think about. Totally understand that. Like it is a little bit to set up. It's called Zipify One-Click Upsell, or Zipify OCU. Last little bit, I have kind of mapped out some Facebook ad strategy stuff. I won't spend too much time on it, but I think it is kind of interesting to go through. With the store as it is right now and the current conversion rate, it is going to be really hard to run profitable Facebook ads just based on some of the KPIs that we've mapped out here. As you can see here, like going after a $25,000 a month sales target with an average order value of $65, it is going to be really hard to be profitable just based on what we'd expect to see from the Facebook ads. If you can get that to 2% though, and with the same sort of stats, you can see like much less spend. You're actually getting around that $25 CPA that we mapped out back here. And it means that with your ads, you can turn over a 2.6x ROAS. It is super important to get that conversion rate up by implementing some of these steps, because all of a sudden it makes your Facebook ads like insanely more powerful.
You know, we had, the ads were pretty good at getting people to the page. We had a really good conversion, click-through conversion. Really, I mean, it was I think we got into the teens.
Yeah, there was some,
but nobody bought anything.
Yeah, and I think a part of that is because the page doesn't really like connect with people emotionally, so it's very commodity focused. So with your ads, which like these are the ones that click, like that had the best clicks.
Right.
It's very blog style, like get the secret ingredient now, the #1 tropical fruit puree. Like this is all really interesting from like a content perspective, and this is why I think you got really good click-through rates. But if these were then clicking through and you were landing on a page like this, you're asking a lot for people to then like read this, understand like how is this the best ingredient to put in my margaritas. There's kind of a disconnect between those two messages.
Okay.
So that's, I think, part of the reason why it didn't convert.
What kind of ad would you run now that you know everything about us?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. So I've got a couple of other things to run through here, but yeah, in terms of what you have done, like view content and traffic in terms of the objectives you're optimizing for tend to drive higher clicks but lower quality audience. So that's also part of it. Also running like a clear middle, bottom and top of funnel strategy is definitely going to be helpful here. And I'll explain that in a second. I've kind of mapped out what that would look like. You also want to make sure that like you're testing enough interests. So if your main buyers are like bakers and people that are into desserts and pastries, you weren't really testing a lot of those audiences with the ads. So again, it's about understanding who you're trying to sell to and like where to find them. Most of the audiences were around like Williams Sonoma and some lookalikes off of people that have hit the site. So again, there's a bit of a disconnect between the types of people you were targeting and the knowledge that you have on the types of people that buy. Overall though, like CPMs look good. Like you've got some like really unique opportunities with the creative because it's so colorful. You can do a lot of really cool stuff. So I do think there is potential there for the Facebook ads once you've fixed up a bunch of that stuff on the site.
Yeah.
In terms of creative here to run, and this is something to think about from your Facebook ads perspective, but even for your Instagram and your social media, because this kind of translates to that nicely. So a few ideas that I had was, like benefits without the sacrifice tends to be a really good creative concept that works well in this space because it shows people
I like that.
some emotional stuff that they like, some stuff they can benefit, but without sacrificing stuff. So it could be, clean and simple health without the chemicals, or 200% of your daily vitamin intake without the hours of juicing, or flavor that packs a punch without the sugar. So being able to tell that story through posts and video could be cool. And I think that would translate nicely onto your Instagram page and your Facebook. How-to type of content. So all your products are there to make, awesome desserts or awesome cocktails. Let's show people like exactly what goes into a passion fruit margarita, how your product fits into that, and how to make that at home. Because now all of a sudden they can see that product in their life and how exactly to make the best use of it, rather than kind of just a static image that takes them through to a sales page where then they've got to figure out like, okay, like how do I actually use this to make a margarita? Testimonials, unboxings. This stuff is so gold, especially in like the food and beverage space, because you're selling something that like you digitally, it's so intangible. Like there's no way I can click on an ad and know what that tastes like or what it feels like to drink it. So if you can have people explaining that, so that's the next best thing, that can be really powerful. So whether that's, people that work at, like bartenders, or maybe it's bakers, or the at-home grandma that's making her fruit sorbets that's talking about how great your products are. Short of being able to give that product to people for free, that's the next best thing to showing them exactly what it's like to experience your products. And you want them to basically be addressing like any potential objections people might have to buying it. So let's say, I'm just going to pick out some random ones. Like maybe people aren't sure like how thick or like how usable that product is to make a certain drink with. Like maybe they're worried that it's going to be too thick or too watery, or they're unsure of like how that will translate into their cocktail. The testimonial can be addressing that exact pain point to say, hey, I was really worried that, this juice wasn't going to be quite right to make these drinks, but I bought this product. I made these cocktails. My party was a hit. Everyone loved these drinks. I've got all my friends from down the street coming back next weekend because they loved all these cocktails so much. So now people are really understanding like the product's great. And that objection that I thought I had actually isn't realistic because I've just seen this video that's explaining someone that had the same thoughts as I did, but I was wrong. So that's how you can really use those testimonials to really address any particular pain points or sticking points. Again, like you definitely want to know, like I just made that one up. I'm sure there's probably better ones that customers might have in terms of feedback to say reasons that they might not have bought. Because if you know those, you can get those videos made to kind of specifically address those sticking points. Work on. The last one is like a week in the life of, or like a 5 to 7 day vlog. Again, this may not be super relevant, but let's say people are buying your products to be able to make like smoothies at home, cocktails on the weekend, baking goods on a Thursday afternoon. Like if you can show people using the products for all of these different all these different occasions, then that kind of also covers off a lot of like purchase reasons for people. And this type of content, if it's like a longer form, maybe it's an influencer doing it, showing them buying the product, getting the delivery, making their smoothie in the morning, baking some stuff with it in the afternoon, making cocktails for their friends on the weekend. Like you can just see how those products fit into people's lives. Right. And again, that's just like more content to generate that like Me Too kind of feeling.
Right. No, but it is. I mean, if I look at PROPERWILD and I go to the product and I scroll down, it's all there.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
because this stuff works.
Right. It's all there. It's not in the front, but like okay, I'm going to buy this BlackBerry, blah, blah, blah. And then I scroll a little bit down, and there's those 4 emotional points.
Last little bit, in terms of, we've kind of covered a lot of this off, but like, the ads that you were running, very blog focused. I think there is a bit of a disconnect between what was in the ads and then what people would have seen on the sales pages. There's definitely ways that you could tell more of that story about the fresh fruit from Costa Rica and kind of showcasing more of that kind of messaging, I think, because people do like to buy stories. They don't tend to buy just because there's ads, but they buy into stories. One thing I did notice is that it does seem like it's older people and older females that tend to engage more. So again, thinking about, like, I'm guessing they're probably the ones probably not making cocktails, but probably baking stuff. So again, making sure a lot of that content is more skewed towards that as opposed to the cocktails, because that may not actually be the actual type of buyer that you've got.
That's good to
I'll
know.
send this through because this will take a while to go through, but this is kind of the structure of the funnel that I would recommend. So using this style of creative, and again, these are all linked. So when I send this over, you're going to have a play with these and look at some of the examples I've linked in here, but it kind of ties back to a lot of these type of concepts, but there's actual video examples showing you. Top of funnel, you really want to focus on, like, what's the problem that you're solving, not really hard selling people, but using that to develop that emotional connection with people. So it could be showing them, the fresh fruit in Costa Rica and how it turns into the juice and how that's all healthier for you and makes you feel amazing and gives you the tastiest cocktails and tastiest desserts, showcasing all of that. Once people have hit the site and if they've left without buying anything, that's when you want to show them testimonials, vlogs, what it's like to receive a delivery from you. How does the juice come packed? I'm sure it's in like a little cooler box and it's packed with ice, or if it's sent frozen or cold. Show people what that post-purchase experience is like, because the more that you can do that, the more trust it builds. And this type of funnel with that type of creative absolutely kills it. And then people that have added to cart and then they've left, you want to be able to show them catalogs of other products that you've got, the products that they've looked at, maybe some last chance kind of offers like, hey, come back today and get 10% off. That's the type of retargeting you want to do. And then making sure that you're re-engaging customers. So I don't know what the average purchase cycle is for people that buy your product, but I would imagine it's probably somewhere either 30 to 60 days or 90 to 120 days, depending on what it is. You want to make sure that you've got ads that are going out and engaging those people 90 days after they've purchased to remind them to come back and like buy more, or, here's a recipe for a new dessert we've created. Here's the juice products that go into that, just so that you're staying top of mind and like closing those people out again, because they'll be the
Would that be with an email?
Yeah, with email works as well. Like this strategy, like the kind of core concepts for this can really be applied to any platform. Like I just do it for Facebook ads because it's literally what I do all day, every day. But yeah, absolutely. Email, even the like the social posts that you do, like thinking about like where are people at in that funnel and making sure that you've got content going out for each of those layers. The same kind of philosophy.
That's okay. Well, you did a great job.
Awesome.
Very detailed. And what I like the most is that I got the world of the entire thing. I need to, the bullets are good, but behind the bullets, there's a whole world that I got from this conversation.
Yeah, perfect.
And which is the emotional part. And I knew that at some level, but Google just keeps just pounding you about keywords on your side.
They want to make it as easy as possible for them as well. And
right.
The more keywords that you've got, the more keywords you can buy. So that fits in nicely to their business objectives.
Yeah. Right. But that doesn't turn anything into sales to have people in the page.
Exactly. That's the only thing that we should really focus on. Like, how do we get this to convert and drive revenue?
Great. Okay.
Awesome.
Excellent. Right. I will. Hey, man, just go have fun in Cancun tonight.
Will do. Awesome.
Don't get too wild.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Running successful e-commerce ads on Facebook is a unique beast to tackle. In order to see a positive ROI, you need a proven strategy developed through rigorous testing with businesses just like yours, custom tailored to your brand. At Dash Activate Online, we specialize in targeted Facebook ads designed to scale e-commerce businesses. Your product doesn't need a cookie-cutter template. You need a custom solution to make sure your product reaches the right people. With us as your marketing team, you can free up more time to focus on growing your business. We look forward to speaking with you.